So my name's Anthony Smith. I've always had a passion and an interest in sport from a very young age, and it's been something I've done very much on a recreational level, just for myself. I'm not a professional athlete, but I keep myself extremely fit the vast majority of the time. And I currently compete in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments in the UK at club level. I represent a new club in Bristol now, where I live. And yeah, that's my background in sport. Like I said, I've always had like a long-term interest, a vested interest in sports, and I'm very passionate about sports as a participant, and also from the perspective of a spectator as well. I love to watch sports, and this course offered a path into a career within sports for myself. Without, I kind of realise now that I'm probably past the age of becoming a professional athlete. These guys do it from a very young age, and I wanted to look for a route into a career within sports, and the course appealed to me massively, where I can continue to work and support myself financially, and obviously work it around other commitments in life. And it presented that opportunity, and I'm enjoying the course very much. I was a little bit apprehensive, I've got to admit it, at the start, especially when I realised that a lot of the guys that were going to be on the course were professional athletes. I heard a lot of talk about PFA, funding and this, that and the other, and it got me sort of a little bit worried that I might be one of the only guys that isn't in professional sports. But I soon realised that when I came and met some of the guys at the induction, that it wasn't the case, and that there's other people the same sort of background as myself. My expectations of the course, I expected it to be tough. To test my knowledge, I was quite worried that I might not be prepared for the science and the maths behind it, but I've obviously bedded in quite nicely, and I'm finding that not too tough now. I think I've done quite well, yeah. In terms of, obviously, you get involved with something like this because you've got a passion for sport and an interest in sport and exercise and well-being. Translating that interest in spectating to actually, putting pen to paper as a scientist, essentially, in a laboratory or something like that, it's very different. So yeah, it was tough at first. It was tough, trying to get to grips with mathematical formula and scientific terminology, terminology of the anatomy and things like that. It's been tough, but yeah, very good, very enjoyable, very informative, and good fun. That's been one of the toughest parts, I think. It has been tough. It's been very testing. You've obviously gone. When you're a mature student, for some of the younger lads, it might be a little bit different because they're not long out of school, and they're kind of used to that lifestyle. I've spent decades out of education now, and so I'm very much used to getting home from work and maybe after a bit of training vegging out on the sofa and not really doing a great deal after that. But obviously now I've got more to think about in terms of studying units on the course, and yeah, it's definitely presented its challenges. It takes a bit of time to get used to, but it's definitely possible. I know that some people might find that it's easy to give up. It might be overwhelming at first, but I think you have to give these things time. You have to give yourself time to adjust, and I've done that. I've done that quite well. It's still tough, but I'm getting there, and I think as we progress through the course, it's going to become easier and easier to do that. Sometimes if I've got time, I try to do bits every day, but life gets in the way generally, and there might be weeks where I try and do more work on a certain day, knowing that for the next 3 or 4 days I'm rarely get a chance to study. So, you know, I've done that a lot. I've studied in blocks, you know, maybe on a day off, and then put 8 hours of work in. And then maybe not touched it for a few days, but if I find that, you know, work's not too intense and, you know, I've done a bit of exercise, then, you know, sometimes I've got time to put in a couple of hours each day. So it does vary, it really has, you know, it does vary, and I try to adapt it to my you know, my lifestyle and other commitments as best I can. I found the ebooks fantastic. It was a nice surprise actually on the induction day. You know, been given an iPad. It was very, very cool, and the ebooks have been a fantastic learning resource. Obviously, they're still in their infancy, and you know, I think the guys responsible for doing it have done a fantastic job. It's got such variety in the way that it's delivered. You know, obviously you've got the written word in textbooks that ask you to refer to, but also embedded links to web pages and videos, which it's a very good sort of, like, you know, eclectic way to learn. You know, it's allows people that focus, well, not wrong word, but not focus, but, you know, people have different learning methods. You know, people prefer to either read or watch or listen, and it offers a bit of all of those, and I actually like that. You know, it's for me, it's you know, it's one of I feel that it's the best way to learn. You need aspect of all of that stuff for me personally, and I think it's offered that, and it's been fantastic. Yeah. Staff, yeah, they've been brilliant. Especially, you know, obviously we've not managed to meet people and really get to know them until this week, this residential. Obviously, we met some staff on the induction day, and it was, you know, it was a brief introduction. So we got to meet some people, and they seemed really friendly, very welcoming. But this week is sort of just been a follow-on from that. It's been a really, really good week. Everybody's given us a lot of time. We've been in the labs till late at night. Everyone's really been sort of there for us. All of the guys, I think, feel the same in that respect. You know, we've had help on hand whenever we've needed it, and you know, the staff have been really accommodating to the point where we've been able to come into the labs even when they've gone home, and they've, you know, trusted us with the keys to the place, as long as we don't cause chaos and leave it as we found it. I think it's, yeah, they've been very, very good. Well, I'd say, you know, be prepared that it is going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. You know, you've got to persevere with it though, and it depends how much you want it. You know, if you you know, you learn a lot about yourself, and I certainly have. I think, you know, you've just got to be committed. You just got to go for it, and you know, try to look at the end goal. Time always flies when you're at the end of it, but it's always going to feel like, you know, a mountain at the beginning. So I'd say, yeah, just be prepared. You know, do your research, and, you know, try and be as organised as you can before you start. You know, get yourself in a position where you're ready to commence your studies, and then enjoy it.